Hi everybody, it's Richard here and welcome to another video. This video is going to be a response to the James Griffiths thread that he put up about 2 to 3 weeks ago on 10 records from 10 different cities. Now I'm a wee bit late here because I have been struggling to find 10 cities and I'm totally stumped on 9. One of which wasn't a city when I bought the record, but it's now been granted city status. I don't know why, because it's the size of nothing and it doesn't have a cathedral, so I just don't understand. Anyway, I'm not a very well travelled person, so the most of these will be locally within the UK and Ireland, but I will show a couple of records from other places at the very end, okay, even though they don't qualify. And I'm afraid also one is a CD. So if we start with Derry, Londonderry, this is Joe Jackson's Stepping Out. This was bought when it came out around 1990 and it was one of the very last brand new vinyl I bought, vinyl albums, before I changed to CD. This has got all the hits on it basically. Unfortunately it doesn't have anything off Beat Crazy, but it does in the CD version, which I think was the main thing in those days, was to entice you to buy the CDs, put extra songs on them. But it's got the big ones like Is She Really Going Out With Him, It's Different for Girls, Jump and Jive, which I love, Stepping Out, great, and Be My Number 2 is a wonderful song as well. So yeah, this was my introduction to Joe Jackson. I saw it, I think it was actually, it might have been Woolworths, I'm not sure, I'm not actually too sure of the actual shop. So this is the first Derry, which is our second city. Okay, put down there. Next we go on to our first city, and this is Belfast. Excuse me again. And I could have picked 100 albums from Belfast. There is nothing greater than going up to Belfast on a Saturday and going around all the record shops, because all our local record shops were pretty poor, so it was great. And this, I'm picking this one, this is Great Hits by Street Life, 20 Great Hits by Brian Ferry and Roxy Music, and this was bought in 1986 when it came out, #1 album. This is probably the best Roxy Music Brian Ferry compilation still. As I say, 20 tracks, starting with Virginia Plain and finishing with Slave to Love. It covers basically everything. Okay, being a fan of Roxy Music and Brian Ferry, you can always say the track listing's not perfect, but compilation albums, they never are perfect in a fan's eyes. But this was a fantastic introduction for me. I didn't have any other Brian Ferry or Roxy Music albums at that time. I did have a couple of singles, but that was it. So yeah, this is great. Double album. Favourite songs on this is again Virginia Plain. But my all-time favourite song is, what's it called? These Foolish Things, which was the title track of his covers album from 1973, old standard, but I love it. In fact, I like the two phases of Roxy Music. I like the art rocky stuff from the early to mid 70s, and I also like the smooth stuff from 79 to 82. So that's Belfast, Roxy Music, Brian Ferry. Okay, this is the one, this is in Lisburn, which at the time was a town, now it's been granted city status. And this is Rare Orbison by Roy Orbison. This is on the Monument label. This is actually just a late 80s compilation of old Monument B-sides, and it's a really strong album. Things like Here Comes That Song Again is beautiful, Paperboy's fun, The Actress is a wonderful song, Only With You's very, very good. Pretty One, which was I think either the B-side of his first single. But yeah, this is a good album. You wouldn't think, oh, early Roy Orbison B-sides, not great, but let me tell you, good album. And this was Lisburn. So we cross the border and we go down to Dublin, and it's CD time. And this was bought in 1998, and I didn't even know, if I'm being honest with you, that this had ever been released. And we were looking through a CD shop, let's not call it a record shop because I don't think there was any vinyl at the time. And then I thought this was a budget release, and I thought, well, it can't be, it's full price. And I didn't even know this was out. This got no promotion at all. And this is Squeeze Domino. So I bought it, so looking forward to getting this home to play it, because at that time my car had a tape player. I didn't get a CD player in the car until about 2000, 2001. And after the brilliance of Some Fantastic Place and Ridiculous, this was a major disappointment. Reading about this album now, I believe Chris Difford was not in very good shape at all. He was really suffering from alcoholism. But ironically, the best song of this is the one that he sings, called Bunkers. There's not a powerful lot else I like in this. Play On's not bad, but I think I really do need to give this another chance, because it may be better than I suspected. The last two albums I thought were great and instantly great. This one just didn't appeal at the start. So this is Squeeze Domino, 1998, and it was in Dublin. Okay, we'll go right down to the bottom of Ireland, and this was bought last year in Cork. And I was down to see Alanis Morissette. I'm not a huge fan, but I really enjoyed the concert. I was walking around the town and I saw golden discs, and I thought, I haven't seen a golden discs in years. I'm going in here, and it was a two-story. It was the bottom story, or the ground floor, was CDs, and it was shabby, and I thought, oh dear, this is terrible. And there wasn't very many CDs there, and there was a sign saying vinyl upstairs, and I didn't give it too much hope, and I went upstairs, and it was a transformation. There was sofas to sit on, like a coffee table there as well beside the sofas. All new vinyl. It was plush, really plush. And the girl behind the counter was, I think she was playing Bruce Springsteen's Greatest Hits on vinyl. And it was just completely different to the CD section downstairs, which was neglected. But anyway, I picked up a couple albums. One was Bob Dylan's The Basement Tapes. Yeah, this is good. This is the stuff really between, well, it's actually Bob Dylan and the band, because there's quite a few band songs on this. This is what could have been before John Wesley Harding, between Blonde on Blonde and John Wesley Harding. Some very, very good songs. You Ain't Going Nowhere is one of my favourites on this. Yeah, not a lot to say. Double album. It's good, but it's not as good as anything else they did in the 60s as well. I think because there's that much band stuff on it, it detracts a wee bit from it. But I got this, but it was the pleasure of actually buying it and going into Golden Disc to get it was the fun in this one. So this is Bob Dylan's The Basement Tapes. Okay, so we go over to mainland England. And my brother, he was at Polytechnic at the time. That's university now, but it was Liverpool Poly at the time. And I bought this in one of the second-hand record shops, and it's the Electric Light Orchestra's first album. This is split between, I suppose I shouldn't really be reviewing this, but split between Roy Wood and ELO, and they're miles apart in this. So different, and you could tell where ELO would go after Roy Wood left. But yeah, I do actually like this album, very good. It's got the big hit 10538 Overture on it, which Paul Weller stole the intro for The Changing Man. But this was bought in Liverpool. I know I've bought other stuff in Liverpool, but I just can't remember what. London, 1987. Gone down to see Bob Dylan at Wembley Arena. Supported by Roger McGuinn and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And then we went into, I believe I got this in Tower Records, and this is 20 Golden Pieces by Sandy Shaw. I don't know why I bought this. I think probably because Sandy Shaw was had worked with the Smiths, and I did like some of the singles, but I knew Puppet on a String, but it wasn't on this, which was really disappointing because I thought it was. But no, this is actually quite a good album. You know, it's got some really good songs like Monsieur Dupont, Today. There's another one I really like off this, was the single. Tonight in Tokyo is excellent, and there is one other one which I can't say. You've Not Changed, that's it. Good album. And I do have another sort of earlier compilation which I think it's on the Pickwick label, but it takes in the other singles, like There's Always Something There to Remind Me, Puppet on the String and so forth, Girl Don't Come. So yeah, between those two I've got basically the Sandy Shaw hits of the 60s. So this was bought in London, I think, Tower Records. Same year, I think, I was over in South Shields visiting a friend, and we went into Newcastle, and I got this second hand, and I've shown this before, I don't need to talk about it. This is Sparks Indiscreet, and this is the best album of 1975, so that's basically all I'm going to say about that. Love it, great album, and I was delighted to see that because at that time I'd only had Kimono My House, and I was looking for more Sparks albums, and these are pre-internet days, and a lot of these things were deleted, so you wouldn't find them in your normal record shops and you couldn't order them. So to get that, it was great, and I've loved it ever since. And then we go across the border up into Scotland, and it's 1983 now. I'm going to show you 3 records because they were all bought in the same shop. I haven't got a clue what shop it was, but we're in Edinburgh. I was there to see David Bowie live at Murrayfield Stadium. And before I went home, we did record shopping, and I bought this 12-inch single by The Clash, Rock the Casbah. But it was the B-side I wanted it for, which was the sort of dancey mix of it called Mustafa Dance. And yep, still like this, and I will still play the Mustafa Dance now and again. Good song, good 12-inch. Also, I got the same day, same shop, Iggy Pop's Lust for Life. Unfortunately, this is on the Horrible Green RCA International label, and I don't like that cover. That looks as if he's posing for a school photograph or something. This is Iggy Pop. He just looks too normal in this. You know, compare that to his last album, The Idiot. I just don't like that cover. But yeah, again, I came to Iggy Pop through David Bowie, and there's Lust for Life as a cool Bowie, right, as is Tonight, Some Weird Sin, and Success. But this is a good Iggy Pop, one of his best albums. Not his best, but one of his best. At the same time, I didn't know this was out, T-Rex Billy Super Duper. Terrible name, but there's a song called Billy Super Duper, which was going to be like one of Mark's musicals. He had always these great ideas, but he never followed through. A lot of this stuff was recorded just before he died, and possibly could have been put on a new album in '78, which was rumoured to be called Jack Daniels. I don't know if that's true though. But yeah, I didn't know this was out either, and I saw this, and this is actually on red vinyl. This is actually quite a good album. It's on the Mark on Wax label. I know that John and Shan Bramley, who ran the Mark on Wax label, do get a lot of criticism for their releases, but they did a lot of good work. They brought a lot of music back out. They did get all the 72 to 77 albums re-released. They'd been deleted for years. Well, when I say years, it wasn't that long really. They're probably about 6 or 7 years, but it seemed like years. Unfortunately, they couldn't release them in the correct album covers, so they devised these tacky album covers for those releases between 72 and 77. But the fact was, I was just after the music, and I couldn't get a lot of the music, so I have a lot to thank them for, because they did bring Mark's music back. So that was Edinburgh. So that's 9. I couldn't get a 10th. So anyway, I'll do a couple of other towns. St Helier, which I don't even know if it's a town. It's the capital of Jersey. I worked over there in the summer of 1989, and I bought this over there, and this, I think I bought this at the airport coming back home, I think now, but definitely came from Jersey, and this is Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever. I had seen him a couple of years before, previous, as I mentioned, but I didn't know any of his music, and it was really through the Travelling Wilburys that I thought, right, I'm going to get this, because Jeff Lynne's all over it, and I was an ELO fan. So yeah, good album, probably his best, but to be honest with you, a bit fed up with it now. Overplayed, but still good album. And finally, I'm going to show 3 more records, and these are all from Spain, in Magaluf. Okay, so the first one is, these were bought in 1984, and I brought these home. First one is the Kinks' debut, and this was printed in Madrid, so this is my copy of their first album, and at least it is actually a copy of the British cover and British track listing, the UK one, unlike, you know, the way the Kinks and the Rolling Stones went the way the Beatles did in America, where they were totally hashed up and made into these different albums. But also at the UK they really messed up the Kinks and put them on budget labels as well. But this is their first album. It's not bad. None of the great artists had brilliant first albums, but there's some good stuff on this, and of course You Really Got Me's on this. Cadillac is one of the better songs as well. 2 others I got, and another one by the Kinks, and it is Low Budget, and as you see there's a wee Magaluf sticker. So I had this on cassette. I made a video about that, another James Griffiths thread actually, and I saw this on vinyl LP. I'd never seen it before until I saw it in '84 on vinyl LP in any shop, so this was coming home with me. Spanish pressings are okay, but they're not brilliant. But anyway, this is a good album. Kinks, Low Budget, 1979. And also from that same shop. And this is another Iggy Pop album, and this is Zombie Birdhouse. And Joala de Zombies is actually written there, and you should see the little sticker as well, hopefully. Yeah. Bought this '84, this is his '82 album, and this one is produced by Chris Stein of Blondie. This is quite a good album as well. It's a mixed bag, but Run Like a Villain is brilliant, as is Bulldozer, and the Horse Song, Eat or Be Eaten, Ballad of Cookie McBride, really, really good songs. Yeah, I like this. There's a good sound to this. So that's Iggy Pop, Zombie Birdhouse. Okay, so that's my attempt at 12 or 10 cities. Only got 9. Sorry about that, but best I could do. So that's me for now. So thanks again for watching. If you like, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed and you wish to, by all means do. Okay, so all the best. Bye bye.